Hey, good morning and welcome back to the adventure. Back in the garage today. The weather's a little chaotic outside, and today's based on my computer. It's a rest day, so I figured I would do a quick review on the new Garmin View. Just picked this up a little while ago, but just now I got the opportunity to, I guess, sit down and do a quick review. This is, of course, Garmin's new front-facing headlight slash 4K camera. Something new for Garmin to come out with. I will caveat that they didn't send me this. I bought this with my own money and wanted to just do a quick review. Not really necessarily an unboxing, but just a quick review to kind of show you how this thing works. So let's get into it. All right, so the View comes in a normal box, of course. Here's the camera itself. Pretty big. I'll do some comparisons to other, front-facing lights and cameras that I've got here in just a second. Before I actually do any syncing to my bike computer, let's look at some comparison cameras that I've got. So the first camera that I bought as far as forward-facing was the Fly 12 from Cyclic. This was a pretty good camera. It done okay for what it was intended to do, I guess. Got to the point to where it was just not very reliable. So I stopped basically using front cameras. And from the Cyclic, I went back to Garmin and got their UT800 version of just a light. This has no camera in it. And I used this for a couple of years. It done real well. It syncs real good with all the head units that Garmin comes out with. Now, Garmin's come out with this 4K version of a camera, and so I decided to pick this up. It is a rather large for compared to what the size of the light itself, but it does have a 4K camera in it, and I think it's 4K 30 frames per second, which is not too bad, I guess. I'd like to see at least 60, even 120, but 4K 30 will be good enough. So let's do some measurements here so you can see exactly how the comparisons are. So first thing, let's look at the Fly 12 and do some measurements for it. So set this out of the way, get this to where you can see it. So the Fly 12, hopefully you can see the measurement on this, but the Fly 12 is 4.069 inches long. It's 2.38 inches wide, and it has a height of 1.364 inches, right? So when this thing's on front of the bicycle, I mean, you can see it was beefy, right? It definitely stuck out. And then along comes the light, just the light itself from Garmin, and the measurements on it is 3.718 long, I guess, and wide. It's at the widest point is 1.3 inches, and then of course height is 1.91. And now enter the Varia View. Again, not as big as the Cyclic version of the camera, but it measures, let's see, 3.63 inches. I guess that's length, and then the width is 2.36 inches wide, and of course the height is 1.29, almost 1.3 inches. So there you have the dimensions of the camera itself. This thing does not come with an SD card, So of course, you got to buy your own SD card, and it's pretty simple to get to. There's a door, a couple of doors here. You got one of the doors for USB-C charging, and then there's a door here. It's got a latch on it. Push the latch and it pops open, and that's where your USB-C card goes. So let's install one of them there. There's actually an icon. I don't know if you can see the icon inside there. See if I can get in the camera. But there's an icon in there that tells you how to put the card in. The face, I guess, of the of the SD card goes up or down, depending upon how you have it mounted on your bike. But it goes to the flat side where the fingers is not. And it will lock in there, and then the door push down, and the door will lock itself. Now, this thing also has a microphone on it. We'll get out on the bike, you know, and check the audio and see how that works. Of course, it's got, you know, the light, and I'm not 100% sure. I think it's a 600 lumen light. I'll check that. I'll put it in the video exactly how it is, and then the 4K camera as well. All right, so next thing we want to do is pair this to a head unit. I have my Garmin 1050 here. We'll turn that on. So the next thing we want to do is pair this to the computer. You can go to menu, and then there's a selection for sensors, and you can add a sensor. And then, so we can add a light, right? So we need to turn this on, hold down on it. Should get a flashing light here. And it shows that it's already picked it up. Let's select that. It says it's going to use an open connection, which is fine. And the light's connected. So that was pretty simple. Now it says the light pairing. So now what it's trying to do is pair it to the backlight that I have on my bike as well. So we'll try to do that. Okay, I got my rear camera off the bike. This is the Varia RTC 715, and we need to connect it to the head unit as well. So let's go through the connection sequence on it. Of course, turn it on as well. Now the lights are connected. You can see this little banner here that said light network formed. And so I've got now the front light, the back light, all connected. If you go back to the sensor area, there's an option for lights there. And as you can see, there's both lights, headlight and the radar camera that's been connected as well. So it looks like everything's connected. Like I said, we need to get out on a bike ride and make sure that it actually works now. But anyway, that's quick review. I'm looking forward to seeing what the video looks like as we get out as well. So we'll check back in a little bit and actually go out for a bike ride and see how this thing works. Okay, before we head out on our ride to check the video on the front camera, I wanted to show everyone the setup for both lights as they're put together. So on the phone, Garmin does have this Varia app. And you can turn it on. As you can see, the front light camera battery is kind of low, so I don't know how much we'll get out of it. I'm not going to charge it before I go. Rear camera looks really good. The recording for both of them is continuous. If you want to change that, you can go up here to the options tab, click on devices. As you can see, there's two devices listed, the front camera and the rear camera. Go to the front camera and then go to camera configuration, and then go to recording mode, and it gives you three options: continuous, on radar activity, and off. Continuous, of course, is the camera running all the time, and I've got a big enough card in there that I can run it continuously. The on radar activity is if a vehicle is detected by the rear view radar and something happens, then it'll continue on the front, which is really a cool option because sometimes, you know, you get a close call that the rear camera will see. Unfortunately, the rear camera's video is only 1080p, so the clarity of the license plates is not always the best. Of course, the front camera is 4K 30, and you should be able to read the license plate a little better. And then, of course, if I hadn't mentioned it, you can turn it all off. I don't know that I would ever use that option, but it's there if you need it. So I keep mine on continuous, and you go back. And of course, you can do the quality of 4K 30, 1440, 1080, both 30 and 60. There's also this stabilization video that's on there and recording the audio during the ride. I'm sure all of these kind of burn the battery up even more. But we'll keep them both on for stabilization and recording the audio. Then you can turn on the live camera preview if you want to do that. Incident recording, I've got that on. It'll be, if there's an incident, then the front camera will save a different file so it don't get overwritten. And then there's some data overlays, of course, for GPS, date, time overlay, and speed overlay. So we'll turn these on just for this video. Won't worry about the date as much. And then the speed, we'll turn that on as well. We're going to turn that to miles per hour since we are in the US. But you can do kilometers, which is pretty cool. All right, so that's kind of the setup for the app on the phone. Of course, when you go back, it'll track, and we'll keep this highlighted so you can kind of see how everything's working as the rear camera's going. If there's a car comes up behind you, you'll see you know, icons jump up in the screen here. And then on the Garmin itself, if you go and start a ride, you should be able to see the front light and the back light turn on as well. And that tells you that the lights have formed a network. And then as you ride, of course, the lights are going to communicate back and forth for certain things. So let's go out now on the road for a quick ride and check out the video of the front camera.